Welcome to Remainders, where we talk about all the movies that remain. My name is Patrick, and today we're going to be talking about the 2005 movie, A History of Violence. We'll get to that in a second. Darren, good to see you. How's it going, bud?
It's going great. And I'm kind of wondering, what is your history with violence?
I have very little history of violence, so
I know
I'm comfortable talking. I am a romantic over a violent person, so yes, I think that's why we'll be comfortable talking about this movie from an objective viewpoint. So,
yeah.
How about yourself? What is your history of violence?
I have no history of violence. I'm a lover, not a fighter, and this is the craziest episode because I watched this. I never do this. I'm always watching it last minute, but lately I've been watching the movie like way ahead of time. And
you're doing your due diligence.
I know. I mean, come on. I guess I must be like having more free time on my hands because I did watch this like about a week ago. Interesting to kind of step away from it a little bit instead of kind of jumping on top of it before the episode starts. So, you might have to jog my memory a little bit just because it's been a week since I saw it. Great film. Hadn't seen it. Cronenberg. What a weird one for him. I mean, which it's funny. It's like, it's weird, but not weird. That's why it's weird. If that makes sense.
There's very little body horror in it,
right.
Even though, violence is essentially horror to the body. So I don't know, you could make a plea for that way. But it's definitely not the Cronenbergian vibes that you would originally think. And it is based on a graphic novel from somebody else. So that might have something to do with it. But this is a movie I've loved ever since seeing it in the theaters in 2005. 20th anniversary. And I decided it was the right time because I think it did just get announced. I don't think the artwork is available or anything, but that it will be on an upcoming release for Criterion and their edition for 4K. So it will be like one of the official films on the Criterion collection, not just available on the streaming, but actually one of their releases. So
yeah, we talk about it a lot that the streaming, has stuff that isn't part of the official Criterion collection, which is it's good to say that because the streaming has movies come and go just like any streaming services, but the official to be in the official Criterion collection is like a pretty coveted space. And right now they do have a Cronenberg kind of curated playlist going on Criterion on the streaming services, and I did look to see if this was on there, but it wasn't. So
I almost feel like they don't put a lot of their movies that is in the collection on the streaming. I've noticed that like most of the movies on the streaming site are not necessarily ones that are on the Criterion collection, like released
like across the streams or something.
Yeah, it's kind of like their supplemental streaming, which I'm all for. So
probably a business thing, right?
Well, no, I like that. I mean, I like that it's like because it just gives them more of a wide breadth. I mean, like if it's available, buy the 4K or Blu-ray, but if it's on the streaming, check that out. There's something new that may be, I don't know. Like I watched Serial Mom on the Criterion channel, and that's not on in the collection, but one day it probably should be. So,
I mean, as far as John Waters films go, that's got to be second to maybe Cry Baby, if not beating Cry Baby in my mind for John Waters film. I mean, I also kind of found appreciation for Pecker after watching it again on Criterion, which had it couple months ago. John Water. I also saw his exhibit over at the Academy Museum, which was kick fucking ass. Anyway, not to get off topic, but we're Criterion lovers here, and I also need to get if you still have it, your Shudder login back because I am missing that channel. I haven't watched that streamer in a long time.
Oh yeah, we'll get you hooked up on that. Or I'm just joking. You're paying for your own subscription just in case.
So make sure in case anybody AI bots hear that.
Yes, no, those are the two streamers that you and I will ride or die for. In despite all of our streaming woes, we will always have Criterion and Shudder because those are the essential ones we'll never get rid of. So
fueled Remainders is fueled by those two.
Oh, can't agree more. So, quick iteration of this movie. If you have not seen it, and to jog your memory, A History of Violence asks whether violence is inherent in us or something that we are in control of. Based on the graphic novel by John Wagner, Viggo Mortenson plays Tom Stahl, Family Man. When a pair of criminals try to rob Tom at his diner, he defends himself by murdering the two men. As a result, Carl Fogarty, played by Ed Harris, alleges Tom is actually a former mob hitman named Joey Cusack. Now Tom has to face his past and violence in a way he never thought he would have to. So this is, like I said, based on a graphic novel, which I have never read, and I have no idea why. I do not understand why. I've been loving this movie for 20 years, and I've never sought out the graphic novel. I'm sure
for
it's
crying out loud, you bought Heat 2 on book form. So
I know,
and
I don't. Yeah, I don't get it. Yeah, I had the realization today, and I just have never read the graphic novel. I don't know, something about me loving this movie so much, I almost wanted to just preserve it. And I'm sure the graphic novel is fantastic.
I mean, that's a thing, I don't know. Like, yeah, just like kind of leave it where it is. But actually, hearing that intro, like, it's easy on paper to look at this film and just say, classic guy, tries to get out of a former life, starts a new life, thinks he's safe, and he gets found out. I mean, on paper, that's what this film is, Also interesting to clock it within the time frame of Viggo being fresh off of Return of the King. I mean, having ended his Lord of the Rings tenure, I guess this would be the first movie since then, or was Hidalgo after that?
Hidalgo. I remember, I've never seen Hidalgo, but I vividly remember some sort of, it might have been even like a Suncoast, like, streamer advertisement thing, but it showed like all the first movies that all the actors were doing fresh off of the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
totally. The first big movie after it. And
Hidalgo makes sense too, because like action, and it even had Omar Sharif was in it, I think.
Oh, shit.
Maybe even Julie Christie, or I could be mixing those up, but it seemed like you got like your David Lean influenced shit in that. And it's an action adventure, a classic. This guy would be perfect for this role because he's coming off of Lord of the Rings that everybody likes. So let's try to sell it. But this movie couldn't be a history of violence, couldn't be any more different. He plays a character that's very reserved, I would say.
He plays two characters, and that's a huge reason why. Yeah. Well, no, I don't mean that in a smart ass way. I'm just saying the way Viggo is able to give two performances in this movie. Like, he's playing one character. I'm just saying, like, the way he's able to flip halfway through performance wise and how he kind of goes back and forth, and we'll get into it, but like, it just goes into like the three big performances in this movie are absolutely the reason why this has been one of my favorite movies since it came out. So
no, I wonder kind of like, I imagine everybody says, I want to do a Cronenberg film, but at the same time, like, the role probably was also pretty enticing for any actor, saying you kind of have this Jimmy Stewart and Vertigo thing where you have two sides to you. You're two people, really, so.
Yeah, and that plays into Cronenberg. He plays doubles quite a bit. Dead Ringers is literally about twin gynecologists, played by Jeremy Irons. The Fly, it's basically a transformation. Doubles have not as much as like David Lynch, but doubles have always been a theme in Cronenberg movies, and Viggo's performance in this is absolutely like a double in line with that theme. So
super interesting. I remember getting The Brood. Did you ever seen The Brood?
All right, so literally right here, top 3 Cronenberg. So
you're gonna do your top? Okay. Well, I'm not like the biggest Cronenberg aficionado or anything like that,
for sure.
But I will say that The Brood, somehow I got like a Christmas present one year on DVD. I got The Brood.
All right, you're getting some kick-ass Christmas presents.
I mean, I couldn't believe it. I mean, it's like, Darren likes these weird movies. Let's give him this.
That's fantastic. No, The Brood, I absolutely love. That movie is peak creepy as shit. It's all about how terrifying having children is, and just raising children, and how terrifying children are. That movie is awesome. I love it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I didn't mean to get off of the subject, but yeah. So as far as top 3, are you going to go through that now, or you want to wait till we get more into the plot of this film?
I want to hear some of your high level reactions to it. What did you like? I mean, like I said, I've seen this 20 times and over the last 20 years. So, but this was your first reaction to it. So kind of would be interested in what your main takeaways were.
Yeah. So clearly first take, I've never seen the film before, and having opened it up knowing it was a Cronenberg film, I was like, okay, I'm expecting some kind of like creepy, like you said, body kind of, which there is, like, like that first scene in the diner.
There's certainly graphic violence for sure. Yeah.
And I mean, but again, it's not necessarily what you would think of it when you think of a Cronenberg film. And I was kind of, okay, like kind of yawn on the plot at first, thinking like, oh, this is like something I've seen before. This guy is, again, like I said before, he's just kind of hiding out and then gets found out again. And but the way Cronenberg does things, he kind of plays with the audience. Like, is this the guy, or do they really have the right guy that they think he is? And there is until that one scene where he does flip, and then you kind of are like, okay, now we find, but he keeps it to himself pretty well. And then you have some pretty amazing scenes between Maria Bello and him. And I kind of like the innocence of their relationship. And so they do a good job of setting that life up, right? Like, okay, he's in the heart, but that's also the little bit of the yawn, because it's kind of like, I've seen this before, like this small town, everybody knows you by name, like, everybody knows each other, and there's no way this guy could be a mobster hiding out in our midst, So that's the only thing I kind of eye rolled a little bit, just from not anybody's fault, but the fact that, like, I feel like I've seen this film before, But as it progresses and everything, and as it unfolds, it's fucking awesome. So,
yeah, no, I literally have it right here. It's the trajectory of this film is, the second half is substantially better than the first half, and I love when movies do that rather than the first. I mean, obviously, you want the whole thing to be great, but
you got to be patient for it. And these days, who does? Right. Like at least the younger generation who's dealing with vertical films nowadays. You might not sit around for that, but I think most people who also then, if you respect it as a director like Cronenberg, you're like, this can't be it. You're ready for something to come and a plot twist to happen. So yeah.
It's just, if a movie is lopsided where the first half is better than the second half, it's always kind of a letdown. Whereas this one is absolutely a slow burn and upward trajectory of it.
Yeah. Do you think,
and it is because of those performances? So
you do. Okay. So I was going to say, do you think waiting for it is worth it? Like, do you think, yeah?
So I agree with you. I think this movie is a masterpiece, but I will say the first 30 minutes, there are TV movie elements and vibes to the family. I felt like the first time I saw this movie, there's something really cheesy about a lot of their scenes establishing.
And you kind of wonder if that's on purpose. That's right. Why I'm like, I don't know if I can hate on that or not,
It music, Howard Shore does the music, so it's awesome. But it is still almost sentimental in a way, with the family scenes. But at the same time, there is a subversion to it. So the sex scene, the first sex scene with Viggo and Maria Bello, it's
pretending like they're kids again, that kind of thing.
Yeah. They're role playing their family man, and they ended up 69 each other. It's just super graphic, in this. It's just, you don't see a lot of 69 in mainstream movies. And that's a way to kind of establish that they are kind of this leveled kind of couple and fulfilled family, where he's got the son, he's got the daughter, they're role playing, they don't they're busy with their family and work, but they ended up 69 each other. So it just shows that they are kind of this leveled couple. And then the second sex scene, after everything is unfolding, it's it's a
almost like a rape. Yeah.
It's certainly borderline rape, even though she ends up, welcoming it. And it's just the exact opposite of that 69 scene at the beginning. So
it's so weird. Yeah. That's a great point about the switch of the sex scenes. And I don't know if I've talked about it on this podcast before, but I love scenes like Nicole Kidman open door peeing in Eyes Wide Shut. It's but I'm not saying that
Let's
for
see your fetish
and weird fetish reasons. Yeah, no, I'm saying that for humanizing reasons. And
oh no, totally.
In you've seen Open Water,
the shark movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, not since it came out.
I know, probably out of left field is where you're hearing this, but the same kind of vibe that happens in that Kubrick film with Nicole Kidman happens, I feel, in Open Water, and I talk about this a lot. There's a scene right before they go out to sea and before the couple gets lost at sea, where they're just in a hotel room and they've been fighting, up until that point. And then she's on the bed, fully nude from the top down. And you're kind of like, oh, this really humanizes this couple. Now I'm going to really care about what happens to them when they get out to sea. So in a way, the sex scene, like you said at the beginning with this, in this film, kind of humanizes the characters in that way, where you really does, it does have that cheesy sort of, made for TV vibe, but those kind of scenes do help the big payoff that happens in the second half of the film.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, I'm just having a memory. I think I watched Open Water with our mutual friend years ago, Ken C. Chachowski.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, really?
Yeah, I remember watching a double feature of that with Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. You just jogged my memory with Open Water. I haven't thought about that.
That is a weird fucking movie hang. Holy shit! For anybody who's listening, a long time ago, who our friend that he's talking about is, you would never picture these two hanging out, but apparently they did. They went to go see Open Water of all movies,
Well, it was a home watch. We were just chilling at home at our place. Yeah, so good times. Those old double features back in the day, always fun. So
anyway, enough of humanizing the characters. We left off on these characters are 69ing, and then there's leads way to a potential rape scene.
But yeah, let's back up a little bit. They get robbed at the diner. Viggo goes into beast mode, and I love the way you pointed that out as John Hurt's performance, and I just love it's a perfect encapsulation of these three performances, beast mode performances, all three of them: Viggo, Ed Harris, and John Hurt. Defends themselves, ends up killing the two criminals, and this gets the attention of Ed Harris, and three subsequent great scenes of Ed Harris basically just visiting the family and pointing out that Viggo is actually this former mob hitman called Joey Cusack. Every scene that he is in and every accusation that he gives, Ed Harris is one of my favorite performances of his. This is up there with Glengarry Glen Ross and actually The Rock. The Rock is a movie I like, but his performance in The Rock is fucking lit, dude. So
wow. I don't think I've ever seen The Rock.
Oh, nice.
Clearly that's a vehicle for Sean Connery, if I remember right, when he's having his late stage action career.
I mean, if you team up Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage, you're doing something right. But then Ed Harris is the secret weapon of that movie. He's fucking awesome. So
I mean, Ed Harris and everything. I mean, Truman Show, yes. Fucking awesome. He was in Westworld and kicked fucking ass. But I will say, in this film too, I wasn't surprised. You know what I mean? It's I knew I was going to get something great from him, and everything's like Joey, Joey, okay, Joey, you're like, fuck yeah, dude, give me more of this shit. And the guys that he kills, so just to set this up a little bit for you, if you're listening, and we just spoiled it for you.
There's full spoilers for sure.
There's two gangster kind of guys that come into town. And then the movie opens with those two killing people at the motel, just kind of nonchalantly, and then he kills this little girl. That was pretty. What a way to start the movie. So yeah, if it is a little slow, it didn't start slow. No. It definitely started pretty startling. And then these two characters that these killers come into Viggo Mortenson's diner, and this is where his everybody in town hangs out, and like a serious badass gangster takes out these guys. One of them looks like Lance Henriksen, and that guy ends up having one of the best death scenes in this. I mean, his face gets completely smashed by a coffee pot. I don't have a problem of any film dealing with coffee and fucking somebody up, Can
you give some examples?
Well, yeah. So when we watch the The Big Sleep, The Big Hurt. God, why am I messing this up?
We watched we didn't watch The Big Sleep. Yeah, we did.
Yeah. That's like that coffee where he's, he basically throws the coffee on what's her name? Gloria Graham. Remember that?
That's right. Holy
Those scenes
shit.
are always like maniacal, and I'm there for it. It's like, totally fucking scalding people, fucking them up. And so anyway,
that was rough. Who was that? Gloria Graham, you said that was?
Yeah, Gloria Graham.
Old school beauty for sure.
And and that's the thing. In that film, all of a sudden you get the hot coffee. Yeah.
Just figuring her for sure.
But anyway, so I love that scene. And so anyway, to then we graduate from these two gangsters to the new, like, Ed Harris catches the fact that this guy's on TV, which is Viggo Mortenson, and that's how we start to get speculation that this is a old gangster in hiding, and now he's found out.
I just love his presence in this. It's persistent and it's so well acted but also directed, because you're watching the scenes, and I'm curious to, like, at what point you realized that Ed Harris is right. Because in the first scene, you're like, oh, this guy must be like full of shit or something. It probably,
I kind of thought, like,
maybe you were just all over it because it's just the way it would eventually play out. But, like, at what point did you realize that Ed Harris was right? I guess. I honestly probably not until, like, definitively not until the scene when he picks him up at his house, which is, I think. So when he actually admits it, he says the words like, I should have killed you back in Philly. But I need to asterisk that with, I kind of always knew, because I didn't think the movie itself was going to go somewhere where he wasn't that's fair. So anyway, it's just, I mean, I don't have a recollection of the first time I watched it, but, like, it makes sense that you were like, well, is this how it really is? But then you're right. In the back of your mind, we're like, this is what the movie's about. So it kind of has to be going in that direction. But it still doesn't minimize that moment when they're at the outside scene and Viggo looks up at him when he's shot and he's like, I should have killed you in Philly. Because that's the first time that he's switching from his two performances, like from Tom Stahl to Joey Cusack. So, like, even if you know that's coming, watching Viggo perform it is fucking amazing. I love it. Totally. And then, like, the reverberation of that, then it's like family now knows, and it's like, okay. And like that, then that hug was amazing, right? Like all of a sudden his son comes out and shoots Ed Harris. So that's like that's like the Hitchcock moment where, like, this guy you think is going to be a huge character is killed off, right before the second half of the film. Well, the pacing, this movie's only an hour and a half long. Like, really? That's what I love about it. I mean, maybe just a tiny bit longer than that, but it is not a long movie. And it's so perfectly well paced. If anything, it could have been longer, which is a rare thing to get these days. Like, I mean, rarely do we get, like, it's an hour and 36 minutes and it has a pace to it. Like, once Ed Harris shows up, like, he just shows up every 10 minutes until he's dead. And it doesn't feel like that. There's something unusual about the pacing that, like, I love so much, and it's so quick and succinct. But maybe to talk about the son a little bit. So the son is constantly being harassed at school, ends up using violence to push back on that. And the son character is basically just a representation of, like, is violence innate or is it learned? His son is basically watching all this unfold with Viggo defending the diner by killing the two guys, him having to, like, actually defend himself against Ed Harris. And it's like, it's just showing that, like, his son is a representation of, like, what he's born into and what his family is influencing could lead him down a path of violence as well. So it's perfect. It's perfect the way they set up the characters like that, because having the son be the son of Viggo, you think, like, oh, you're seeing him so much, like, push off the violence, like, and you're thinking, oh, he's a product of his dad, that we know, the Tom Stahl character. And then he turns around and finally saves his dad and shoots Ed Harris. You're like, oh, all bets are off. This guy actually has it in him, And the violence is what save the day. So that, I mean, that's what's great about this movie. This is not anti-violence or pro-violence. It's just like violence is almost the history of humankind. It's almost a history of humanity, whether you like that or not, in terms of defense or active violence. So I love that.
It's a way to talk about the current president right now.
I don't pay attention to the news anymore. I forget who's
Me neither.
president.
I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Fuck current events.
Yeah, fuck them. Everything you need to know is through the film. So
yeah, all you got to do is listen to Remainders, and then you get the pulse on all things excitement.
So maybe sticking on that outside scene, that's the third scene with Ed Harris when they finally confronts them at the family house. He's got the son like held hostage, bringing him out. There's something crazy. I mean, it's super subtle, but like there's flies in the windowsill. I don't know if you.
Oh, right. Yes,
you remember seeing that?
Mm-hmm.
You remember seeing that? So this is my crazy theory about Cronenberg directing this, but like it may be just bullshit, but I don't know.
So that's all. Those are all Jeff Goldblum.
That would be even better. So I don't know. Or a collection of Jeff Goldblum and Vincent Price just going.
Oh yeah, totally.
But that's basically the transformation scene of Viggo. Is when he flips. He says it's when he gets shot. They end up killing Ed Harris. The other two guys are killed. He says, I should have killed you in Philly. That's the flip. That's when everybody in his family sees that he's actually the person that they were claiming he was. And the entire, Cronenberg's most famous movie is The Fly, which is just one long transformation movie. So monster movie, all about transformation. Him just ends up showing the transformation scene with flies in the background. I personally think that's a little Cronenberg nod to The Fly of a transformation scene, and
I love that, and I think you're definitely probably
it's so minimal, but like the flies in.
Well, why put them in there? Other than it could also mean like a turn to bad, right? Like why do flies show up? Because they're like they're into a transformation, something that's dying, or
something that's decaying and whatnot. So yeah, that's true, but the flies in the angle are so pronounced. It's like that you see Viggo and them in the background, and it's like the flies are what you see almost like first. So it's like it is pretty pronounced in those shots. So that's why I think it's pretty intentional. So I don't know. Doesn't add anything, but it would be a fun little.
Well, if you're listening to this and and you think and you want to chime in, let us know. I mean, what the fuck? I wouldn't even think about that, but clearly that's got to be like to get those flies in there, unless they like do it themselves and they showed up by themselves, like you got to like intentionally do it. So there's something to that.
Totally. Love it. So this ends up, I do love the scene when Maria Bello goes into the hospital after Viggo's shot. And that's the confession scene when he openly admits to Maria Bello, his wife, that he was Joey Cusack and he transformed into this other guy. And he's like, it's what's great about that scene. He's like sitting in the hospital bed. He's almost going back and forth. He's talking as Joey and then a little bit as Tom sometimes too. So, he has kind of like reverted back to Joey. And so he's kind of almost got that like Philadelphia kind of New Jersey accent a little bit. It's super subtle. And that's why I love his performance so much. But then Maria ends up just like puking out of revulsion. And it's such a great scene. So
I was going to say, like, at this point, are you convinced that she doesn't like the fact that she was lied to? Of course, but
probably one of her least favorite things. Yeah, I can see that.
Well, when the sex scene comes up,
and then the sex scene after. Yeah. So
well, because there's a danger in it, right? And you're thinking like this guy is completely like do-gooder, probably kind of boring in life, and she might be like, oh, this is like exciting, and then like wants to, but then she realizes he's a fucking creep and then like says, get the fuck off me. Like that sex scene says a lot, and I don't even know. I'm just speculating.
It's loaded for sure. Yeah, it's loaded for sure. So you do see Viggo's tail in it, FYI. So
his tail?
Viggo's got a tail, full spine tail. So
what?
That's been pretty well known. He's got like a tail from his like
Really?
spinal cord. And you see it when he's pulling down his pants and starting to fuck Maria. Yeah. So
Gee, I have to rewatch that for Viggo's
it's pretty pronounced. So
tail. Holy shit, I had no clue.
yeah. So if you're a big Viggo fan and you haven't seen this one, it's one for you to check out.
Spoiler alert. All I knew about Viggo before this is that he broke his foot, like smashing an orc head in Lord of the Rings. Not lo and behold, he had a tail the whole time.
Good thing he didn't break his tailbone.
Yeah, well, maybe he did. That's why he's got one.
Oh.
All right, Viggo, if you're listening, we love you. It's,
Oh,
fuck it, man.
Nothing clear about that. So for sure. All right. And this leads up to call from the brother. Sleeping on the couch. Gets a call from Richie Cusack, his brother, John Hurt. Hey, Brohim. Good to hear from you. Good to hear the killing's still going well for you. So, and this
John
performance, this is one of my favorite performances. He comes out of the gate, like literally in the movie for like 7 or 8 minutes, gets nominated for an Oscar for it when this came out. Best supporting actor for his coming in hot scene as Richie Cusack, the brother of Viggo Mortenson in this movie. So,
okay. So like borderline comical, if not fully comical.
It's everything. It's terrifying. It's hilarious. Everything about it is fucking peak performance.
The tone of this film just kind of like keeps on. It's like a wave,
Yeah.
So when he comes in, you're kind of like, there's danger. Like Viggo's in trouble. And at this point, I think we're on Viggo's side. Like, hey, he's just trying to protect his family at all costs. And so we know when he goes and has to go meet with Richie. I don't think we're like fully aware that he's his brother yet, but like kind of know that they have a relationship, or they were best friends or something like that back in the day. And he's got to go now and talk with them. And
he calls him brother on the phone.
Yeah, but
you're right.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
I call you brother. It's like
that's true.
We're not blood related. So
Remainders Brohim. So
yeah. Hey Brohim, you want to do an episode of Remainders today? So yeah, anyway, at the end of that, he's got to go now into the lines down the danger that because we don't know this character. This is the first time we're meeting him, and
or hearing about him even.
Right.
Like you don't even know he exists as like a person he's got to go see. So
right. Yeah, definitely unhinged, definitely awesome. It also reminded me that John Hurt is no longer with us. I forgot about that. I'm thinking about him in The Village, if you recall. But of course, in Body Double as well, right?
Body Heat.
Body Heat. Yes, of course.
You have brought up a lot of movies that I've gotten confused. Body Double, Body Heat, Big Sleep. And I sometimes get the names, but
yeah.
Seeing Body Heat, I had seen a little bit of it. There. Yeah, I had seen a little bit before we watched, and I fucking love that movie. And I remember loving John Hurt in that. I'm sorry, William Hurt.
Yeah.
Have we been saying John Hurt?
I'm sorry. Thinking of.
Have we been saying John Hurt this whole time?
Probably. Everybody who's listening to this is like, fuck these guys. They don't know shit about movies.
William Hurt, fantastic in Body Heat, and I remember talking about this performance and being like, we got to match his awesomeness in Body Heat with this movie. So,
yeah, Kathleen Turner. Oh my god,
that is such a great movie. But yeah, he comes in so hot in this movie, giving such a great performance. One thing I've realized about his performance, it is, like you said, very comical, confronting Viggo about how he. So it turns out Viggo busted up Ed Harris is who was a made man, tore his eye out with like some barbed wire and shot up a bunch of his guys. So basically kind of like in Goodfellas with Pesci taking down a made man. It was kind of like similar to that, where he busted up.
Anytime you hear a made man, it's like, because of like Goodfellas, Casino, like you don't fuck with them. Right.
That is true. Yeah. The audience just knows like, oh, right. You don't fuck with them because of Goodfellas. So that's basically, you kind of get some of the details of that. That's what Viggo did like 20 years prior. And so it shows that William Hurt is basically the one who had to kind of clean up his mess. And so that's what I'm curious is whether or not William Hurt and Ed Harris were working together at this point that's where I'm a little unclear, and I don't think I need clarity.
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
don't think you need
curious.
clarity, but yeah,
I'm just curious in like what the relationship was. If he hadn't killed Ed Harris, would William Hurt have had to step in and bring him back to Philly, or would he have just popped him himself? I'm just curious about that whole dynamic. But either way, it's basically William Hurt being pissed because he had to clean up Viggo's mess and basically bringing him back to Philly so that he can kill him, which Viggo was not entirely. Seems like he was not entirely expecting that. So I don't know.
No, yeah, that's why I was saying it's so unhinged. But I also like what I don't think is clear is like the behind the scenes conversations of like, we got to think of some like fucked up way that Viggo like took out what's his name's eye, and they're probably mulling it over and like, oh, barbed wire, man, that's fucked up. Like, he took it out with barbed wire, because every time they bring it up, they're like, oh man, you took his eye out with barbed wire. You know, it's like a main talking point, and it's like, okay, does that just make him like a sinister, you know, son of a bitch, or could he have just gouged his eye out, you know, or Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves style, cut his heart out with a spoon, you know? Yep.
Little ice cream style. Yeah, they do a great job of really conveying how much of a psycho Viggo was without actually like showing anything or
they never do
giving too much about his past. They just it's largely his performance, like his reaction to when any of this is brought up. You almost see like, I believe he was a psycho, and I also believe that he has reformed himself into Tom Stahl. So, but yeah, William Hurt. With the barbed wire, he's like, what was it, barbed wire you took his eye out? That's disgusting. You were always the sick one, Joey.
Yeah.
One thing about his performance, I noticed that he repeats a lot of his lines. It's something subtle. He says a bunch of his lines twice back to him, like, you see the upside about marriage, I don't see the upside. You cost me, Joey, you cost me a hell of a lot. And then the best one, how do you fuck that up? And he's like, how do you fuck that up? Him just repeating these lines are fucking fantastic. I love it.
And he's saying that to the guy who just basically is going to die in like 5 minutes, you know, he's bleeding out on the floor.
How do you fuck that up?
Yeah, really great. And at that point too, you know, where this movie is going, no, I don't think anybody really knows, because at home, he's got his family who's like, I don't know, like, you know, you lied to us for this whole time. And he's quiet as hell. His performance is like not giving anything away about like what he's feeling, Viggo. You know, all you kind of think is like, he wants to make good with his family. He doesn't want to get fucking killed. He doesn't want his family to get killed. But you kind of don't know, if he does kill his brother, even like, what good would that do? Like, what is his life going to be like?
Yeah. So one thing I've picked up on this movie is the religious aspect of it.
Really?
It's so subtle. It's so not up on front of anything, but it's kind of there. So you do see him wearing a cross in multiple scenes throughout the movie. Like in the first sex scene, when they get down with the 69.
Perfect time to show the cross.
He's getting ready, and you could clearly see he's wearing a cross, a necklace. You see it again halfway through the movie. I forget which scene, but then you see it at the end after he's killed Richie, who almost gives like a biblical kind of like hands up when he gets shot at the end. So you see those three crosses that he's wearing, or that same cross that throughout the three times in the movie. And then he ends up going to the lake. And actually, a quick thing, like them being brothers is almost like a Cain murdering his brother Abel, the biblical story. It's like kind of borderline on that. Him killing his brother.
So now we're going to get the baptism.
And so he goes to the lake.
Talking about movie cliches, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but it's so subtle, and it's not a baptism, but it is kind of a cleansing himself in the lake. You see the cross again. And it's just so subtle. But
I hadn't even noticed, so I'm glad you're bringing it up. Yeah.
I barely noticed until the last couple times I watched it. So it's well,
maybe that's why it's kind of like sometimes those things can be like so nailing it over people's heads for no reason, like, you know, and it's so cliche. And I think that's why directors like try to their best to be like, well, this is important to the character and the story, but we don't want to like placate the audience. You know, it's like calling Ed Harris's character Christoph in fucking Truman Show. Do we really need to tell everybody in the audience that this is Christ?
Yeah. I mean, James Cameron is kind of the king of that. He's got all Christ characters. JC, John Connor. He's super subtle about it, and these are all Christ characters. So,
there you go.
It always goes back to James Cameron. So
yeah, of course.
So, yeah. So,
well, speaking of which,
176 days until Avatar: Fire and Ash. Just FYI,
fuck.
I know
Can't wait.
I know you can't wait. So he cleanses himself in the lake. And that's when he goes back to have some meatloaf with the family. So,
oh, good. And so at the end of the film, he sits down. What I know this is like your favorite thing, and no wonder you love this film.
Oh,
you don't need to know what happens at the end. You don't need the perfect bow on it.
No.
And nobody's getting that at the end. You're thinking, okay, they're passing the shit, so maybe things are okay. But then, who knows? Nobody said anything. Nobody said, it's cool, you lied to us for, your entire life. Nobody's talking, and it just ends and rolls credits, So it's up to the audience to think about what happens after the darkness goes and the credits roll.
You do know me well. I do love ambiguity especially with endings. So,
when I saw the ending, I was like, no wonder this fucking guy likes this film. It's exactly your kind of ending.
Oh, great. Yeah, love it. Again, it does kind of go back, I will say, and we talked about like whether or not it's intentional or not, a little clunky. Like every time there's the whole family on screen, it feels a little cheesy. Like the way the daughter looks, and then she just walks over and brings the plate over. It's a little contrived.
Well, it goes back to that made-for-TV kind of feel.
Right. Like it does kind of have a vibe of that. And this movie is pretty polarizing. There are people who think it's one of the best movies of this century. I think I saw like Peter Travers or something from Rolling Stone. He put it at like number 4 of like the decade, maybe even the century. But like there are a lot of people who view this movie as kind of mid in the way that we were talking about, like in the kind of almost like made for TV kind of style of it. So I don't know.
What was Ebert's review? Did you happen to pull that up?
That's a good question. I did not. What would you guess?
I would think that he liked it, but probably it wasn't like a enthusiastic thumbs up. I would think he'd be like me, kind of like movie was kick ass, but not the greatest movie of all time.
Wait, I thought you did say it was the greatest movie of all time.
No, you did.
I know. Oh, that's right. Positive review. Where is it? I don't see it. 3.5 stars.
3.5 stars. Okay, that's pretty good.
Darwinian Violence Descending. That's the title of his review.
Nice.
Yeah, Darwinian. Like I said, it's kind of the story of a history of violence of humanity. So it's like whether or not it's just your reaction to it, almost, because that kind of is like what Viggo kind of represents. It's like you have blood in your past. As humans, we all have. If you're a human, you have blood in your past, not of you as an individual, but as your species. And so, like, what is your reaction to that now? So, like, do you ignore that? Do you just be somebody completely different? Do you move on from it? Do you stay in that violence and be Richie Cusack, being kick-ass performance? Do you get nominated for Best Actor if you do stay in it? So I don't know. So
nature versus nurture, eh?
A little bit. So
yeah. Well, I mean, again, I did really love the movie. I thought it was really cool to see this film. Again, it's something I hadn't seen before, but also from like the perspective of your enthusiasm for it and why you like it. And then also doing this podcast and hearing a little bit more about it, like the pulling out the Christ like imagery, and also the things about just in general, some of the characters that I wouldn't have thought about, especially the fly stuff. I love that, so it's kind of like having these conversations about films after you watch them and hearing why somebody really likes them. It's really, it can kind of change your perspective a little bit, or at least make you want to go watch it again, and revisit it. So for all those reasons, I'm definitely recommending A History of Violence.
Fuck yeah. And like I said, I think it'll get a lot of attention from people because I don't think it's that popular. Like it was only mildly successful box office wise.
I don't even kind of remember it in the box office.
Well, I mean, I don't feel like people talk about it a lot, but that's the thing about Criterion Collection is when those movies come out, it gets like a whole new wave of attention.
Is that why you're bringing it up? Because you saw that they were doing the 4K?
Well, I had it on my list for a while, and then it being the 20th anniversary, I thought about doing it this year. And then last week, like a couple of days before our episode, it was announced that it was being released on the Criterion. So I'm like, all right, 100% doing this movie now. So perfect time for it. So it's kind of like when we did One False Move. It was like it just coming out on the Criterion for that. And so it was getting a lot of attention and a whole new wave of people kind of discovering it. So yeah, good. It's kind of my favorite thing. It's what we're all about here, turning people onto the movies that we love. So I'm all for doing that. So
History of Violence, recommended. Check it out. Hopefully you enjoyed this talk on it. Also, like, really worth like talking about Cronenberg and how, like, I mean, how old is Cronenberg now? He got to be in his like late 80s. Yeah,
that's a good question. I'm so pissed. He just with his newest movie, The Shrouds, which I still haven't seen yet, but he had 2 nights of Q&A at the Music Box.
Oh,
I know, and I missed it, and obviously it sold out like in a second. So I missed him with that, but would have been fantastic to see. But he's still going strong as hell. Just trying to look how old he is.
I think I saw something recently where like there was a like Q&A or something online that I came about with him and like Jim Jarmusch talking to each other, and it was like pretty amazing.
So top 3 Cronenberg is definitely this movie, The Brood, and The Fly. Those are my personal favorites. So.
That was the order?
No, those are just top 3. So,
gotcha.
Have you ever seen Dead Ringers?
No.
That's a crazy one that I need to revisit again. It's Jeremy Irons playing twin gynecologists who are trying to up.
It's just that. Say no more.
I know, right? And they're like they like are in competition with each other to like invent like the best gynecologist like tools for operations. It's a crazy fucking movie. Like I need to rewatch it again. I almost feel like if I watch that tonight, it might peek into the top 3 at some point. But I like that. It's definitely one of his more unique ones. So one that I've never seen is his movie Crash from '96. Certainly not the race relations movie, but his movie Crash from 1996. It's based on the book, but it's about people who get off sexually on car crashes. So, which is just right up his alley. So yeah. And that's one that I know a lot of people really fucking love, and for whatever reason, I've never seen it. So
yeah, me neither.
Do you have any Cronenberg? Yeah, you said. I mean, you kind of.
Oh yeah, The Brood. And then I'm thinking it's like Videodrome is
one of his more famous. Yeah.
And that has, I think, Debbie Harry in it. That's why I originally saw it, because I love Blondie, of course. And Videodrome. I'm pretty sure that's the one that she was in.
Scanners, obviously.
Yeah, there's Scanners too, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Clearly, like very niche. Like the name. Do you know the films? Maybe just the buzzword ones, right? Like you said, like The Fly and stuff like that. I don't know too many people that even I've ever talked to that have seen The Brood. That's cool when you did, but that doesn't surprise me. But so sometimes when I talk to people about Cronenberg, like I'm not, again, I don't know every film, but nobody really seems to know The Brood. So,
well, shout out to the coffee shop The Brood here in Chicago, which is a great coffee shop. They spell it brew, like coffee brew, BREUEWED, The Brood, like coffee brew. But it's like they're all obsessed with 80s horror, sell plenty of 4K. Everything in there is about, they work with bric-a-brac, which I'm sure you're familiar with. So they got a whole record and movie collection on the side. But their entire coffee shop is in reference to the Cronenberg movie, The Brood. So shout out to them. Go visit The Brood if you're in Chicago. So
yeah, we'll have to go there next time I come to town.
And then the follow-up his follow-up movie to A History of Violence was Eastern Promises, also starring David Cronenberg, which I think Viggo was nominated for Best Actor for that movie, actually, 2007, about Russian mob bosses. So good movie. So
yeah, I had not seen it.
Another. That's most famous for the naked fight scene. Viggo is completely naked in like a bathhouse in a fight scene with a couple of mob bosses. So definitely a wild fucking movie. So
wow, yeah, totally. Viggo not giving a shit after post Lord of the Rings.
He was trying to shed himself of Aragorn in just a different kick-ass way, I guess. So
yeah.
All right. So any final thoughts on A History of Violence?
No, I think we covered it pretty well, actually. And I'm sure we could go on and on about the performances, but for the most part, definitely entertaining film that it was an unexpected view for me, especially in the lens of a Cronenberg film.
Fuck yeah. Love that you're checking out all these crazy movies that I got going for you. So
you're making me cool out here, man. You're making me cool. If I could talk, have you guys seen History of Violence? And everyone's like, oh, you seen History of Violence? Like, yeah.
First movie we've covered that has a 69 scene. We'll say that as a closing remark.
First ever movie with a 69 scene.
Honorable Majors. So.
Come on now, say no more.
Yeah, Maria Bello was playing on Suncoast all the time when we had to repeat Coyote Ugly when that came out on VHS.
Oh my God, she was in, Maria Bello was also in that Netflix series that like fuck, I forget what it was called. So it's like her and the guy from The Walking Dead, and Ali Wong, I think, was in it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No idea.
Everybody who's listening to this knows what I'm talking about. Anyway, she was fucking awesome in it. She has a cool death scene in it. Okay.
Is this recent? The Waterfront?
No, it's like it was big show on
NCIS?
No. She has like a bit part in it. It's called let's see, I'll tell you. Beef. It's called Beef. Beef.
Just like Beef from Phantom of the Paradise.
Yeah, exactly. I heard they're making that into, by the way, there was like news about that.
Yeah.
Did you hear about this? Yeah.
Oh my God. It's so great. Pulling it into an actual
play.
Musical. Oh my God. How happy were you when we watched that movie? How great is that fucking score? That soundtrack I fucking love so much.
The first song that opens it up, you're hooked right away. You know?
Oh my God. It's so good. I love that movie's been getting more attention lately. So Beef. No, I have no idea what Beef is. So.
It was awesome. That was a good show.
Stephen Yen.
So, yeah. Okay. I always think of him from he played Glenn in The Walking Dead, which because you actually watched that recently.
Jesus fucking Christ. The show would not fucking end. Holy shit.
It still won't end.
I cannot believe it. I mean, the main one. I finally got through the main show and I was like all these years later, I'm finally finishing and I'm like, oh my God. I can't. I got burned out. I can't watch any of the other the spinoffs. I thought I was going to, but I'm not gonna. So
yeah, the spinoffs I don't know anything on, and I don't even think I finished The Walking Dead, which is a bummer because that was like my favorite show ever. And also, just like quickly to say this, in 2023, I was in a gallery show out here at La Luz de Jesus. And they have this Everything But the Kitchen Sink show. And I was really excited. I got my first piece in there. And one of the people that was displaying was Andrew West. I think I've told the story on here before, but he's the guy who plays like the hipster cannibal in like season 5, the like main guy.
Oh, right.
And I've since become friends with him, and he's fucking awesome. And he's a great artist. His name's Andrew J. West. And he lives in the neighborhood and is an artist here. And I just love the guy. He's like the sweetest guy. But yeah, if you see him,
so kick-ass.
That series and that cliffhanger when they were like caught, it's like the worst and best like back-to-back that could happen in a season, because if it ends, I think season 4, where he's like they get caught and they're all in like some like packing shipping container, and you get Andrew Lincoln and he's like, they don't know who they're messing with. And I'm like, man, he needs to say fucking. Like, they're in some deep shit. And he's like, they don't know who they're messing with. And I was like, it was like the worst ending. But then it opens with season 5, and they released like 15 minutes of the first episode that you could see online before it actually aired on television. And they were like, all of the main characters were like kneeling over like a trough, and like they were slitting people's throats like one by one. And I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. And that's when they showed Andrew J. West as the hipster fucking leader of the cannibals.
I still remember you bringing that up, that you had recently talked to him. It was literally within like a week or two of me watching his episodes. So it was like totally serendipitous, like perfect timing. And I was like, remember saying like his performance was fucking great in that. So
dude, he's sweetest guy. He was talking with me, and I was like, dude, I love like The Walking Dead. And he's like, oh yeah, cool. You know? And then I was like, yeah, I have a piece here or whatever. I'm like, but I love your stuff. And I told him, I'm like, your stuff, and that was probably the stupidest thing I could say. I was like, your stuff kind of reminds me of my grandma. And I meant that in a good way. Because my grandma was like my favorite painter of all time. And I loved her technique. Yeah. And he has this amazing oil painting technique. So I was like, said it, and I was kind of like, what a boner, what a stupid thing to say. But then he goes, and it was closing, and he went on his own to go look at my piece after we talked, like, just like really kind. And then we said goodbye and kept in contact online and stuff. But he came up to me at a outdoor market at Christmas and was like standing there waiting for me to talk to him. And I was talking to somebody else. And eventually, I think you stood there for like 20 minutes waiting for me. And then eventually, as he realized I couldn't get away, and he started to walk away, and I like booked out of there. I was like, just to talk to him because he's such a nice guy. And I was like, dude, I'm sorry. I saw you talking, like waiting there. It's just so good to see you or whatever. And he's like, yeah, dude, I'm just here with my family, and we're gonna go watch the tree lighting and stuff like that. I was like, dude, you're a good guy, man. I like you. So anyway, I would love to have more hangs with that guy. And also, I hope he's in something really, like, he should be like he's a great actor. I like him.
Oh yeah, love to hear that.
Yeah,
good. Always good to hear when the performers are good people as well. So
yeah, I think for the most part, I've been pretty happy with the people that I've met out here, that they actually seem to be, you know, sometimes you meet some people and they're not what you want. Like my Morrissey story is so perfect. It's like the like kind of bow to you, you know, because you don't want him to even talk to you, you know, it would be terrifying, but just a gesture from Morrissey was enough for me.
He can't stay on stage long enough to give you a gesture. So
I don't care. I'll pay top dollar to see him come out on stage, wave to the people, and then leave. I would pay top dollar for that.
Fair enough. 3 hours later, Robert Smith will still be playing in Kick-Ass show. So, you know, at his late stage in life.
Yeah.
Good times.
The Cure versus Morrissey. It's like, that is our podcast. It's like into a T.
Fucking kick your ass, man.
If all who are watching this, Pat just showed me his Robert Smith tattoo.
Have I never showed that on the podcast?
I don't think so.
Really?
I don't think I've ever seen.
What?
Dude, I've always seen like the bottom of it.
This is like 4 years old, 3 years old now. But yeah, this is the legit Robert Smith. Taking up my whole left arm. So.
That's crazy, dude. I've always seen like the bottom of it, and I was always like, I don't think Pat wants me to like bring attention to that. Like,
really?
I always wanted to know like what.
I thought we talked about it, so I don't know. Like a couple times that we've seen each other over the last couple of years, which is
all right. Tattoos. Are you going to get more now that you've got that? I mean, you probably had some before, right?
Well, I got my. I mean, yeah. I guess we haven't talked tattoos. I mean, this is like 10 years old.
Oh, Mystery Science Theater.
Science Theater. Yeah, those are the only two. So I have. I mean, so best TV show of all time, best music of all time. And I do want to get an alien from the Alien franchise, the Xenomorph, at some point to represent the best movies of all time. So it's not intentional, but that would cover the basis of my movie, music, film obsession. So, yeah. So
I heard they're addicting when you start to get them. So I didn't know, you know.
I would get a 6 feet under tattoo, possibly, but something super subtle. So nice Fisher and Sons.
My girlfriend just recently sent me a there was like some kind of thing online again, like whatever. It was like, I knew it was okay to be gay when David held Keith's hand. And I was like, fuck yeah. That's like literally the best shit ever. Like when you bring up David and Keith, like,
That's
anybody
awesome.
who might be homophobic would immediately change their mind when they'd see 6 Feet Under, in my opinion.
Yeah, I've been putting on a few episodes. I still haven't watched it since my father passed away like 6 years ago now. I mean, I saw the show like when it first came out, starts with their father passing away. So it's like, I still haven't really rewatched it entirely and to kind of get that vibe.
Oh, with that lens?
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I've seen like a few episodes here and there, so I should rewatch it in full. But yeah, I know Freddie Rodriguez is going to be at Days of the Dead. So I'm going to get my 6 Feet Under box set signed by him. Do
you have your 6 Feet Under box set signed by everybody else?
No, I have nobody. Like, I don't
Freddy's a big one. That's a great character.
Yeah, most of those actors are not doing like conventions or anything. They're just not, at least not ones that I've seen or anything. So
Freddie Rodriguez is probably doing it more so for, I would think, Grindhouse. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, so be cool to get that. All right, what's going on with you? Watching anything good other than Cronenberg lately?
Yeah, actually, I watched all, and I mean, when I say watched, I kind of like one eye open while I'm doing other work, because I thought this is like a perfect opportunity to see these films and not have to really put too much into it. But all the Final Destination films are on Max right now, and I've been
meaning to do that. I've only seen the first, and I saw the new one that just came out in theaters.
Oh, you did? Okay, yeah. Well, I heard good things about the new one. Like, I always thought those films were like a little too close to home. Like it was a little too like death, like reality death.
Yeah.
So I guess like that kind of like turned me off, but they're fun, like totally cheesy at times. And the first one I remember seeing, but kind of didn't remember it. And it's interesting how they all sort of tie into like the first one, like they all kind of harken back to it. So I finished those, and that was fine. That was fun. And then I'm a huge fan of the show Ripley on Netflix. I think I've talked to you about this before.
Yeah.
Like one of the best ever shows of all time, in my opinion. Like I loved it. And it's really just beautiful, cinematic, everything you want like Ripley to be, if you're a fan of it. And I wasn't necessarily like a huge Ripley fan before seeing that. I liked, the one with Jude Law and Matt Damon. But then I kind of
it's that Ripley.
Yes. So the story of Tom Ripley is like pretty old. So there's also like, you remember when we covered La Piscine, Alain Delon is a version of Ripley in this movie called Purple Noon as well. And so right now there's like a curated playlist of all the Ripley movies, without the Netflix one that I just mentioned. There's also one with like John Malkovich that does another portion of the story. And it's on Criterion right now. So I actually watched The Talented Mr. Ripley last night while I was drawing. It took me. I watched it from like 2 a.m. till about 4 a.m. Which was like I was just such a I'm like working like crazy right now, and I was like, I'll put this on. But of course, I like was loving it. But that movie actually is pretty closely follows like what the TV series is. So. Anyway, that's just a little bit insight into what I've been watching. I also watched Addams Family the other day with my girlfriend because we just were looking for something to watch, and she had never seen Shutter Island, and she fucking loved it. And I was like, hell yeah, that was. We're getting into a little Leo these days, which I'm always here for. I love Leo, and yeah, that's about it, man. How about you?
Wait, you jumped from Addams Family to Shutter Island. So you watched both of those?
Well, okay, so we watched Shutter Island, I think, on like Saturday night. So we got fucked up on Friday. It's like on Fridays we like to drink our booze away from the week, because I'm by Friday, dude. If I don't drink, like I am a complete fucking mess. Like I need to like unwind, like, and I can't do shit. It's just like give me like a good tall Guinness. And let's talk around the table about all the shit that we had to put up with this week. Okay, so that's Friday. Friday, because my girlfriend and I don't live together. So I'm here doing my shit. She's over there doing her shit. And when we come together on Friday, it's like, it's on, And I shouldn't really drink that much. Neither do I these days. I mean, when I'm not out, but like, Yeah, I wish I had one right now. It's a stupid coffee, but I don't keep it in the house just for those reasons because I kind of want to be drinking on the weekdays. But anyway, long story short, after Friday, so Saturday night we watched Shutter Island, and it was awesome. And then on Sunday, it was like we woke up and I think we were just like, let's watch a like stupid movie that like we like but like don't have to pay too much attention to, and that was Addams Family.
Hell yeah. No, it wasn't Addams Family Values.
No, and so she said like she likes that one better than the original. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Adams, I'm not joking at all. Addams Family Values is one of the best comedies of the 90s, largely kind of be like we were saying today with the movies. It's performance based. That movie has exquisite performances through and through, nonstop. Raul Julia,
underrated, I think, you know.
Oh my God. Everybody is fucking incredible. Giving amazing comedic performances in Addams Family Values. I absolutely have that on my list for us to cover at some point. So,
cool. We'll my girlfriend was talking about how much she loves like Joan Cusack in that too.
She's one of the funniest fucking actors to live, Joan Cusack. I just recently watched School of Rock again. She's so fucking fantastic in that. I love her. So like, she's just one of the best comedic performance actresses of all time.
She's got some good roles in. I don't know if you've ever seen the show. What's that one with William H. Macy? Oh, Shameless. She's got a role in I think the first 3 seasons or something. Yeah, she's really. She's
never not great in everything. Jessie from Toy Story 2, one of the most tragic performances in that whole series. Like she's fucking fantastic. So we'll definitely be watching Addams Family Values. So Shutter Island, I went to go see at the Music Box 2 years ago. It's another one of those movies that I think is great, but too plot heavy for me. So
that tracks with what I know you like. I
think it's my problem if a movie is just too much about like who is the killer or what's the mystery. I just kind of check out a little. I
think it's the worst if you end up being the person who's like trying to. I don't think you do this, but like our friend Lindsay, she would do that all the time. But it's like she'd tell you like, oh, these people are dead. Like halfway through The Sixth Sense, and it'd be like, okay, I'm glad you figured it out.
Well, so I'm the exact opposite. I do not. My mind doesn't give a shit about who the killer is or what the mystery is. I think about all the stuff we talk about on the podcast is like the nuances, the performances, the themes. And I'm not saying what's right or wrong. It's just my brain does not like at all try to figure out.
Well, neither does mine.
Yeah.
And even Marianne was saying at Shutter Island, she's like, I think what's happening here is that, she does not like that either, but she was like, I think what's going on is like, he's actually the patient. He's patient number 67. I was like, wow. Yeah. I remember watching that film and not really getting that until like the end. I don't, because like you, I'm just kind of like, paying attention to the characters, what's happening, what's their story. And I'm not looking for like some sort of like what the payoff is,
With duly appointed police officers. That was my favorite. That's my favorite part of that movie. So, I mean, it is fucking great. I loved watching it, but it like, as a like compared to something like Wolf of Wall Street or, I'm just saying, like, I'm not comparing those movies. I just don't have a need to rewatch Shutter Island probably for another like 15 years.
I mean, fair enough. Fair enough. Once you get that through that film, it's like, cool, leave it where it is. But I liked watching it through the lens that she hadn't seen it, and that was fun for me, I guess.
That's true. I'm not criticizing it. Still better than everything out there.
So. Yeah. Anything that's not Scorsese. Yeah.
Right. Oh, man. When are we going to cover The Irishman? I hope soon. So,
yeah, I'm game anytime.
I'm excited for F1 to watch Brad Pitt in a race car. I'm going to be there day one for sure. So
pass.
Really?
I don't give a fuck about F1, dude. Give a shit.
I mean, the hell
even Brad Pitt, who I fucking love Brad Pitt, but I don't give
Tom
a shit.
Cruise came out to say,
I know. Saving the movies, saving the movies.
Saving the movies. He's like, hey, Brad, you made a great race car movie here, so I'm going to support it. So, I mean, a movie that's
all people give a shit about. let's
What?
talk about fucking Tom Cruise showing up to like. If I was Brad Pitt, I'd be pissed. What the fuck, man? This is my movie. Get the fuck out of here. You know.
I don't think there's bad blood or anything, but
No.
I mean, I love sports movies. Like, I don't watch a ton of sports, but I fucking love sports movies. So I'm excited for this. Moneyball is one of my favorite sports movies.
Moneyball's great.
Moneyball is a fucking masterpiece. So
Then again, I like baseball. I mean, I don't really love fucking car racing. So
yeah, but it doesn't matter what the sport is. It's the shit behind it. That's what makes it great. So
who directed this film? Do you know?
it's somebody, and I don't know what.
I mean, you should not necessarily. You know, all you got to.
Well, I mean, because I'm excited for it. I'm not saying
probably
I'm not saying I
shirt
just
off, you know?
should know. I'm just saying like I'm excited for it. Carrie Condon is in it. I didn't even realize she was in the Banshees of Inisherin, nominated for that. Yeah, that's why you're gonna want to go see it. It's the same director as Top Gun Maverick, Joseph Kosinski. This is his follow-up movie. So now everybody's watching it like, oh, Darren's gonna go see this.
I cannot fucking wait.
Despite his premature dismissal of F1. Now,
listen, Top Gun Maverick, chef's kiss. I mean, that fucking movie ruled, man.
That's right. That's right. I remember seeing that he directed it, and so like, all right, I'm all in for F1. So,
cool. Well, yeah. I mean, hey, blockbuster of the summer, hey.
Right. I got a new DVD, 4K. Dirty Work just came out from Vinegar Syndrome. So
have never seen it, but that's a great looking cover for it.
You never seen Dirty Work?
No, Norm Macdonald, right?
My favorite of all time, Norm Macdonald. It's one of the better comedies from the 90s. Was a huge fan of this when it came out. Saw it in theaters as a kid. Norm Macdonald's one of the funniest persons that ever lived. So, you know, good to see that Vinegar Syndrome is preserving Dirty Work in all its glory. So
awesome. Yeah, beautiful. It's a 4K version of Dirty Work, huh?
Here's my DVD of A History of Violence. So just FYI. So
yeah.
That was the extent of that one. So
what else you got on DVD? Anything else to showcase?
Not right now. Yeah, I haven't picked up too much other than that. So
yeah, well, as every person who watches this on YouTube can tell, like Pat is definitely growing that collection. I mean, that thing has skyrocketed.
Yeah, but it is largely like complete is not the right word, but I do. I have curated it to make sure that I basically own like all the movies that like I qualify as I fucking love. So, and I'm kind of like, because back in the day when I was working at Suncoast, I would probably just buy everything, and my collection was just like getting whatever I wanted. And a lot of people struggle with this currently too. Is like if they're collectors, they just collect everything, whereas like a lot of people kind of make the differentiate of curating. Whereas like I'm curating this collection where most of the movies in here are like I can absolutely say I absolutely love. And so like I really haven't bought much in the last like 6 months because I almost like feel like my collection has gotten to a point where I have the majority of movies that I want to be watching, and it'll grow slowly over time, but like certainly not going to add a whole lot to it anymore. So
nice. I love that. I mean, hey, just kind of like the music you buy, right? It's like, okay, if I really love this band, I'll buy the vinyl. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I love stream. I'm like I said, we're keeping Criterion, we're keeping Shudder. Like I'm all for having access to movies, but like I just want to own the movies that my favorites of all time. So pretty satisfied where it's gone now. So
one thing I've been meaning to tell you, there's this thing that I really want to like go to, and I just for some reason don't, but I met the guy at that holiday market I was just mentioning, and it's like the LA Breakfast Club, and it's like a big thing because Walt Disney was a part of it. And the guys who run it were in the booth next to me. So I was like, Darren Varel, artist, whatever. And then over here was like the Los Feliz Breakfast Club, and hey, Walt Disney was a part of it. And like, it's like one of these cool things that people do in town. And like a lot of like notable people are part of it. Anyway, the guy who runs it bought a print from me, and it was Chicago based, and it was one of those ones that I have like all these like notable people on it, and Sven Gulli was on it. He's like, oh man, he's like, I'm from Chicago. And he's like, I worked for Svengoolie. He's like, for the station for forever. And it was like the best job of all time. He's like, eventually I had to move out here, but he's like, it was like the best job. And then we got to talking. And anyway, I've been following the account and trying to go to one of their breakfasts that happens like on Sunday, like really early or something. And of course, I'm like probably hungover. So I haven't yet, but I'm going to. And they had the guy who plays RoboCop there.
Peter Weller.
Yeah. David Weller. Yeah. And he was
Peter
there.
Weller.
Who?
Peter Weller.
Peter Weller. Of course. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Peter Weller. And he like I'll send you the photos. He just looked like he was having the best time. He must be a member of the club or he was a honored guest or something like that. But he was just like hanging out with like the Breakfast Club. So I've been meaning to tell you this because I know, of course, for anybody listening knows Patrick's favorite movie is RoboCop. And I covered that on our quintessential 50th episode that you can go back and listen to if you'd like.
I still need to read his book. He's got a new book on art criticism out. So
maybe that's what he was doing. Yeah. He's probably promoting it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's his main passion now. He does conventions for sure because he's all for his fans of movies that he's done. But like that's his primary pursuit now is writing and academic writing. So
cool. Very cool.
That up. So
it's got to be what he was doing over there. Yeah.
I saw somebody just posted yesterday. They posted a picture of him and Nancy Allen, also cool. From RoboCop, and they share the same birthday together. So that's why they were posting that. So it was their birthday just recently. So
yeah, but Nancy Allen, as we know, also a De Palma favorite.
So. She's the favorite of everybody. So
yeah,
she's amazing. So love it.
Cool.
It's been hot as fuck here in Chicago. So I've been staying inside in air condition. I fucking hate summer so much. It's my grumpy take. So
the Irishman.
I'm an Irishman. I need 57 degrees and slightly overcast. So we'll get back to it soon. So
all good. I miss Chicago summers, and I know it's been hot.
Hey, they're fun. It's just fucking dog shit season. So we were all conditioned to like summers because that was the only time you had freedom growing up. For 18 years, that was the only time you had freedom. So as an adult, you think, oh, I would like summer. No, it's the worst season. So look forward to autumn so you can watch Halloween. So that's where it's at.
Well, yeah, we're let's not push it too quick. Time is flying by, but I will say, I was pretty surprised on my walk the other day. I came across the fact that I'm going to give you my music pick of the week if you're ready.
Let's do it.
Meatwave came out with another 2-song kind of like release, and there's one of the songs I really love, and it's called Voicemail. It's 1:05. It's perfect little ditty. That's my song pick of the week. I love when those guys come out with shit. They're like so Chicago, and that's kind of why. When you're talking about the city and everything, I just feel like whenever I hear those guys, I just feel Chicago. I feel like Logan Square. I feel like what it's like to be a working class punk rock fucking band. So anyway,
hell yeah,
called Voicemail just came out.
How long was the song? 1:05.
1:05. Perfect.
That is the epitome of a ditty for sure.
Yep.
So.
So what about you?
Kick ass. All right, I'm going to do a pair of songs from a singer-songwriter, one of my favorite singer-songwriters actually. So, and I'm going to see her for the first time ever. I've never seen her before, but Aimee Mann will be playing the Riviera in Chicago this Friday, so I'm going to go see her. Most famous song we know, "Save Me," end of Magnolia. Her doing the entire soundtrack of Magnolia, which is a huge reason why that movie's great. Not the only, but a big reason why P.T. Anderson kicked ass with Magnolia. We were talking about like last week with the Beach Boys, the ending Boogie Nights with God Only Knows. That's the name of the song. Yeah. P.T. Anderson ending Magnolia with Save Me by Aimee Mann is like equally epic. It's so fucking well done.
Could not agree more.
I fucking love it. Like the way it's shot. I mean, the music is out. That entire soundtrack, like her doing that score, is awesome.
Also, the connection, like with Michael Penn, I think they're still married. Michael Penn, Sean Penn's brother, was in Boogie Nights as the record producer. Who's the guy behind like the thing when he's like, "Come on, guys, our stuff is that good. You got the tapes. Come on."
Love it.
Yeah. So anyway, there's a connection between those two for some. That might have been how Aimee Mann got into Magnolia. Not to cut you off with that, I have seen Aimee Mann.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, I don't know
perform.
That. Oh, really? When did you see her?
She played, and Laura Jane Grace opened. It was like 2015 or 2016. It was fucking great. I think
that sounds like
both of them were
show.
Pretty like just like acousticy. So,
fuck yeah!
And she did one, I believe, and probably Save Me as well. I can't recall, but I just remember just loving it the whole show.
Nice. Yeah. So I'm excited to see her. So I'm going to do Save Me, and then a deeper cut, Dear John, which is the opening song from her album, The Forgotten Arm, from 2005, which is kind of one of my favorite albums of hers. It's a concept album about a boxer ring. And it's just a great fucking song. So this tour is apparently the 22 and a half year reunion of not reunion, but celebration of Lost in Space. Just her quirky way to do 22 and a half years since that album. So I think she's playing that album all the way through and then going to play other stuff as well. So yeah, excited to see her. She's she's such a kick-ass songwriter. Like her music.
Sorry, what was the venue again?
It's going to be at the Riviera.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, which I fucking love. Like that's like, so I saw Halloween there just last year. And what's great about the Riv is that it's got the pit area, like any type of venue. So you can get in there for like a metal show.
But also, the seats and
so like I got in there for Halloween with the Pit at the metal show like that. But then they got the stadium seating, like it's like really like steep. So you can go like really far back. You see all the way down. I mean, unless it's like a hardcore selling out show, it's usually pretty chill. And so like, if you're old like me now and you don't want to be standing in a non-metal show the whole time, I'm going to be like chilling in the back, enjoying myself, listening to music. And
I saw the Ramones there twice. So beat that.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Holy shit. That's impressive.
I know.
Were you down in the pit or way up in the rafters?
I was down in the pit for the first show. I think actually I was in the pit for both because I actually caught one of Johnny Ramone's picks.
Oh, fuck yeah.
He threw 2 picks to me. One I missed, and it was picks. In the crowd.
You're being too selfish with the rest of the crowd.
But then I found the second pick on the ground after everybody left the venue, and then I gave it to him and at the Riv. So that was the first ever Ramones show, but also maybe the second show I ever saw, because I saw Everclear at the Odeum in Villa Park. Was my first show with Silverchair, but then the Ramones at the Riv in 1995, and then 1996 on their last ever tour. In between that first show I saw them with, and then they played Lollapalooza I saw them at, and then they played the last Rib show in Chicago.
Yeah.
And, it was fucking awesome, man.
So that Lollapalooza was 96, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. When was the Riv? Did you say what year that was? Or the first one?
Well, the first time I saw him, I'm pretty sure it was 95. And then
95,
again.
okay.
Yeah. Then it could have been 96. Actually, it could have been 96. I think this was all within the span of 1996, to be honest with you.
Wow.
Like the Ramones really were.
They went hard with their.
Yeah, they went hard with it.
With their last tour. All right. Yeah. That's awesome. I trust me, I know you. I'm sure you're grateful for that every day. It's like that you were able to appreciate and see them and have that for the rest of your life. So that's awesome. And
you know what's funny is like I can tell you it was the first time I ever saw him at the Rib, because I remember the date. It's a year after my dad died, on the day my dad died, April 19th, 1996. So they must have played April 19th at the Rib. Then I went and saw him at Lollapalooza, and then they played again before the end of the year at the Rib again. I had to look this up, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it went.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Anytime you have the memories of the shows and then you look up the dates, and whenever they're confirmed, it's always a beautiful thing. So
yeah. You're like, okay, my memory's not fully gone. Yeah.
I love hearing that. That's awesome. Your Ramon stories are brightening my day for sure. Love it.
Oh, hell yeah, man. Well, it's cool you've seen Aimee Mann. I think you're going to love that. And I, of course, as cinema fans, you're really hoping that she's going to play some of the stuff from, Magnolia. I'm sure she will.
Okay. When are we going to cover Magnolia? I mean, so much.
We have to. Yeah. I've seen that movie like 8,000 million times. Hardcore,
underrated.
Have we done any PTA? I don't think so.
No.
Wow.
That's the thing, man. Like we're covering the movies that are not automatically our favorites. And so that's why over time we're going to be sprinkling in our absolute like clear favorites.
I mean, we can start with some of his garbage if you want, Inherent Vice.
Is Inherent Vice garbage?
Licorice Pizza.
Licorice Pizza I would easily put at the bottom, but granted, I've only seen it once.
Well, see Inherent Vice if you haven't seen it, and then tell me which one beats out that for garbage.
I saw Inherent Vice only once, and I like that more than Licorice Pizza. But those are the only two that I've seen like one time. But again, I trust P.T. Anderson. I trust in the fact. I trust in the fact that over the years, when I rewatch these movies, I will like them much more. So
potentially, I agree with you. I mean, yes, I agree with you. Maybe it's just like I don't get it yet, but you trust him. He's a great director, and again, just like we said, even his garbage movies are like watchable, because it's him, and he is really a truly great artist. So,
love it. Right. One last comment. This great Green Day picture you got in the background. Love it.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Your song "Pig Dilemma" came up on my playlist recently. That's a real banger of a tune. So
it's great, isn't it?
It is. It sounds so good. Yeah.
I just love. Have you seen the video? I don't know if you're like.
I think I did watch the video. Like shortly when you recommended, I watched it. And so yeah.
Just Green Day in general, man. Such a great band. As the years go on, and they put out that great record, Saviors. Just you are so happy to see that like a band continues on and has a career like that, who is that good and that important and that smart, and also that important, like to me, and like, starting with Lookout Records and a label that put out all my favorite bands, and I just love that they've done so well.
They'll be closing out Riot Fest here in Chicago this September. So Sunday night. So headliner.
Did you get your tickets for Riot Fest?
Oh yeah. Always got to support Riot Fest, even though sometimes it's too hot and I leave too early sometimes. So, but
yeah, like last year.
Yeah, I know. I'm fucking pussy. I'm staying for the Beach Boys this year though. So we'll see.
Yeah. The Beach Boys. Yeah.
The Beach Boys and Weird Al, can't pass them up. So
right. All right. Well, hey, it's episode 74. Thanks a lot for staying with us, for crying out loud. I mean, we've been really, really doing decently well on YouTube, and man, I gotta tell you, that like brightens everything up for me to like know that people are like finding us and actually wanting to subscribe. I don't know if people are listening through all the way. I don't know if they're, how they're finding us, but just the fact that like this is growing a little bit, and the last, 5 years we've been doing this podcast. That's fucking awesome. We do it because we love movies, and if anybody's out there that does love movies the same as us, like give us some comments, let us know what you're liking, and tell us what you think of like the plot of the movies, and if we're wrong about something, because I don't know, man, I love talking movies with people. That's like the best fucking thing ever.
That's why we're here. Feel free to recommend. Always down to cover the movies that we don't know yet, and bound to be ones that, like I said, it's a recommendation podcast. So we're showing something we love. Always my favorite when it's one that you haven't seen, and vice versa when you're turning me on to stuff. So
yeah,
always down for that. One of my favorite.
Well, in 2 weeks, I'm going to be curating something pretty special, and I don't know what that is yet, but I'll let you know.
Okay. That was going to be a little preview now for it. I was going to jump on it. So, all right. Kick ass.
Yeah, spoiler alert. It won't be one of the Final Destination movies.
Is it the first Avatar?
No. Okay. Now I know it's time to go.
Okay.
All right. Well, hey, good to see you, Pat. As always, everybody listening, thanks for listening. And talk to you soon.
See you, brother.
See ya.